Gore, and I don't give a fuck. What's up everyone, welcome to the third review for Gors Month of Horror, and this time I'm actually checking out the sequel to a movie that I reviewed last year called Grave Encounters, and this is Grave Encounters Dos, 2, that's Spanish for 2. Probably didn't know that, I know Spanish. And Grave Encounters, the first one, was a movie that was very underrated in my opinion, both ratings-wise, and it was very overlooked. I thought it was a very scary movie. The budget was very small, so special effects weren't great, but they used it very well. For the most part, I thought it was a very scary movie, in my opinion. Now, I was looking forward to Grave Encounters 2, even though I just heard about it yesterday. I didn't even know they were making a Grave Encounters 2, but I heard about it yesterday, and I was like, oh god, I need to see this. Then I found out Amazon was selling it, well, renting it out for people that want to go see it, and I was like, alright. I rented it, and let's talk about it. So the story for Grave Encounters 2 is actually kind of interesting. It starts off with a bunch of YouTube reviews for the first movie. Yeah, that's right. It starts off with some people saying, oh, I loved it, and some people saying, oh, it's terrible. It's not like they got a bunch of reviews that said it was amazing. They actually gave some that were like, oh, this movie's horrible. It's absolutely trash. It's terrible. And some of them were all like, oh, it's scary. And I actually looked it up. Some of these reviews are actually, like, real. They're real reviews, too. So it was kind of weird seeing that my review wasn't there, but whatever. Anyway, so Grave Encounters 2 is actually based around one reviewer. At the end of all these reviews, they show one reviewer saying, this movie's horrible, it's horrendous, I give it 1 out of 4, and then it actually starts off with that character partying at, I guess, his college campus with a bunch of his friends. He's hanging around, he's getting drunk, they're recording stuff for whatever reason. You know, it's a found footage movie still, but they're recording them having fun and partying, and they're joking around and doing stupid stuff to each other. And then the main character, the one that reviewed the movie, notices that, none of these actors have done anything after Grave Encounters, which during this movie, that movie just came out, so of course no one did anything after, it just came out. So he still thought it was kind of weird, but he looks into it further, and then he finds out one actor actually committed suicide 7 years before the movie even came out. 7 whole years before the movie even came out, that guy committed suicide. So now he's investigating even further, because that's just strange. Then he digs a little bit deeper, he talks to the producer of the actual film, and he finds out that this could actually be a real thing, which obviously it's not, but let's just go with it. Okay, so he goes to the asylum with a bunch of his camera crew friends, because he's actually a film student, he wants to go make this film about this asylum. He goes to the asylum that was in the first movie, and of course, they go in, and bad stuff happens. Oh boy, bad things really happen. They get into the asylum, about maybe 5-10 minutes into the asylum, that's where it goes south, and it gets creepy as all hell, just like the first movie, in my opinion, of course. Not everybody's going to think this is a creepy movie, but if you like the first one, then you're going to think this one's just as creepy, maybe even more creepy at times. But really, it is a scary film at times. Just the asylum itself is just a creepy atmosphere. It's all dark, you never see what's coming at you, and anything could happen at any time, really. One of my favorite parts of the first movie is that the whole asylum just like changes. It really does. It like, you'll go through one door, and then you'll go through the other door, you'll go through the same door again, and you'll be in a completely different part of the asylum. And I love that in the first movie, and they actually build upon it in this movie and make it even more creepier. I don't want to spoil what happens with that, but it's actually kind of creepy, and it's very well done in the film. The atmosphere here, in my opinion, is just great, just like in the first movie, and it's probably one of the scariest mental hospitals I've ever seen in a film. It really is. And one reason why that is because of what inhabits this asylum, and that is the creatures, or I should say the ghosts in the film, because I would even say demons, because they just screw with these people way too much, and they are just creepy as all hell. The way they look at first, they have that pale look and some blemishes and like facial scars or whatever, and you know, they look normal-ish at first, and then boom, their eyes just get black and dark and wide, and their mouth elongates and gets pitch black as well, and it just gets creepy because then they start screaming and things start flailing everywhere and they start running around, the characters in the movie, and the camera's shaking around and they run away from things and they look back with the camera because it's point of view pretty much, and that, in my opinion, is why this movie series works, because it is a found footage movie. They look back and this thing's chasing after them and they're just screaming around. It gets really intense and very, very creepy, and there's a whole scene where this big, tall ghost with a just screwed up face and naked, he's completely naked, is running after these dudes, and it's just so creepy. It really is. And they get at the end of a hallway where they can't go anywhere, and this thing's chasing them, and I won't tell you what happens, but it's damn scary in my opinion. It gets tense as all hell. The first hour and 10 minutes, it's either really fun to watch these characters, or it's actually kind of scary, or really scary in my opinion. And the only thing that really breaks it up is that last 20 to 30 minutes where it gets to slow down. I mean, there's still some creepy atmosphere and some creepy things that happen, but it doesn't really get too scary like that 30-40 minutes in the middle of the film where it's like just like insanely scary. And it slows down, it gives you some plot, which I didn't really care for. I didn't really want to know the whole history about this mental hospital, really. I wanted it to be like in the shadows and secret, but they give you a little bit more plot details. They introduce a new-ish character in the film, which I didn't really care for, and it gets a little slow and doesn't get as scary, but for the most part, it still is a very creepy film that I really enjoyed all the way through. I don't think it's as good as the first movie, but still, it's a creepy film that you should definitely check out. I'm going to give Grave Encounters a 32 out of 40. Thank you. That's my review. Look forward to another Gors Month of Horror coming up real soon. Thank you and goodbye.